chances are they're probably, teching, and then you actually have kind of an advantage, and you should just be massing foots. So notice how the warden's actually following around the Zeppelin? That's hilarious. Well, it was. And basically it was just waiting for the Archmage to pop out so he could kill it. 9 HP, this game's over. But generally what you do with this strategy is you kind of push with Dryads, and like massive amounts of Dryads, and then hopefully you can take out their towers, and if you can take out their expo, then what you do is you start getting bears, and then you set up your own expo, and it ends up being like game number 2. So, let's go for an overview of these strategies. There's the tier 1 strategies, which is basically you go mass huntress and then you go glaives and you try and glaive them out of their base. Generally the timing on this is you want to go fan of knives and you just want to harass the crap out of them the whole game. And you don't want to do much creeping. Sure, you want to get the level 2, but, obviously on T-stand you're not going to stop them from getting level 3, so you might as well level up a little bit. In game 1, he did a little more creeping than I enjoyed. I usually hit a little earlier and then just kind of creep with my Huntress on their own until I hit level 3, and then I just kind of all-out push and end the game that way. In that case, you won't be teching. Obviously, you can set up an expo, but really the main focus is just like go, 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 kill them ASAP before they get casters or tanks or morts, whatever. Next strategy, the mid-game strategy, which is actually game 3. Didn't think that through, but whatever. What you do is you basically... You creep early game, you tech, you go archers, you don't go hunters, because that's just a waste of money. When you see them start putting up the expo, obviously you want to do some sort of pressure. You don't want to just leave it go up, because then they'll get an early tech. And then you kind of play it cool. You don't actually put yourself at any sort of risk, which is what the early game strategy is. It's kind of like an all-or-nothing strategy. You're risking the fact that you aren't teching, and the fact that you're going to lose a whole bunch of hunters doing this, and that if they have a Mountain King and it levels up, you're screwed. Anywho, you want to play it safe until you hit tier 2, which is when you get the Panda, and then you just kind of do some ownage. And then you get the Dryads, you take out their expo, you get the bears, you take out their main. Obviously, sometimes you get the Dryads and you can't take out their expo because there's just that many towers, which is then when you go back with bears and you try and take it out with rejuve heroes, and they probably won't be tier 2 yet because you fast-tech to tier 3, and you've been doing some sort of pressure to them, obviously. And then, obviously, if you still can't take that out, they're going to start going tanks, which is when you want to start going mass expos, get a whole bunch of, or get 1 or 2 Zeppelins, get a whole bunch of Ancient Awards around your Ancient of Lives. You just want to kind of go around making sure that their heroes aren't open, otherwise if they are, you kill them. And then it's just kind of frantic, run around, hope you don't die, and hope you can starve them out of money. And obviously get Nature's Blessing. The late game strategy, which is basically you fast expo and you kind of put a little pressure on them early game. This is kind of, it's sort of risky and it's sort of not risky. It's risky in the fact that, you're fast expoing. It's not risky in the fact that you're massing tier 1. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to expo, you're going to pressure them, and then you're going to attack when you can, and then you're going to get bears and you're going to go back and you're just kind of going to end the game. Obviously you're going to go Warden Panda as usual. So that's the basic rundown of all 3 strategies. It doesn't really depend on what your opponent is doing. I mean, obviously if they're not fast expoing, you should probably tech. Because otherwise you're not going to be able to take their casters unless you like mass hunts and hope for the best. And you tower push them, and then which you kind of force them to go workshops and do some mort stuff to you. But yeah, as the Night Elf, what you really have is you have diversity on your side. As a human player, you just have the wait it out and I'll probably win game on your side. So that's kind of the way you want to play it as the human player is, shit's gonna happen. Get their shredder and just kind of keep 5 peasants on each gold mine. And hope for the best, tech ASAP. Really, I'm not going to give any more tips for human because it's already a 50-minute audio almost, and I'm getting tired of talking. plus human mass towers is gay. Yes, it is. It's just a pain in the ass. What other stuff was I going to talk about? There was important stuff to do with the warden. Basically, don't do anything monumentally stupid. Try and remain as risk-free as possible when it comes to your hero. Units, whatevs. Unless you're going with the fast tech strategy, which then, if you risk a bunch of your units and you lose a bunch of your units and you have nothing, they're obviously just going to, like, beat you down with footies, and then you're never going to be able to get tier 2 buildings up. So, yeah. That's really all I can tell you guys about countering that. I don't know, worst case scenario, they get the tanks and you're screwed. Yeah, actually, if they still get the tanks, you kind of have an advantage because you had the EXP. But yeah, other than that, really can't think of anything. People might be like, well, if human doesn't have that much of an advantage, it's more of a night elf map than a human map. It's not, because if you actually expo at the orange camp like most human players should do, basically what you get is you just do nice base build, you seal it off, and you get a couple arcane towers so that they don't have mana, and then you get a couple guard towers, and yes, you will need farms in front of the towers, otherwise you're going to get screwed. And then if they do go with the tier 1 strategy, you want to go rifles instead of footies, because they'll just get owned. Reason you go rifles is because they own both, hunts and glaives. Oh, I lied. I said I wasn't going to talk about this. But yeah, you just want to play it a little smarter than they did. Yeah, they're pro players, but, we can all learn something. Yeah, that's really all I want to go over. It shows pretty much the limits of the diversity of the warden. Obviously, you can shippo, but it's really your worst option, because they get, like, 2 Dragonhawks and, 400 gold for them, 660 for you, plus all that time it took to put up a Chime Roost and all that wood. And yeah, it's just a bad idea, especially because they can outmass Dragonhawks, and that's just not good. So I'm going to end the audio off here. I'm not going to read PMs because I just can't care right now. A, it's early. B, I've been talking a while. So, yeah, done.